What is up, YouTube? It's Kingfisher745, and welcome to episode 79 of All Hail the King. I wanted to post this one sooner, but still, it's finally time for the Colleen Wing All Hail the King. As always, you can check out the original podcast segment, and I'll post a link to that in the description below. The From the Helicarrier podcast, part of the Giant Size Team Up, so check it out at giantsizeteamup.com. As for this episode, like I said, it's going to have plenty of Colleen, but we also had a specific reason for our team-ups. First up, we're going to use Volstagg, and you'll see why very soon. With Colleen, I like to start out with her level 6 because she will preemptively interrupt many attacks. And we're going to begin working on Emma Frost. Right now, she's not going to preemptively counter, so it's the safest time to attack her. Unfortunately, the agent heals them right away. But let me just say, if you want to obliterate someone, including Emma Frost, at the beginning of your turn, essentially at the beginning of the game, then Volstagg and his level 9, plus his Nourished E-ISO, is going to do that every time. So let me just go through this really quick. The Nourished E-ISO causes him to begin combat with 13 stacks of Well Fed, and Man in the Middle. His level 9 Axarang says, consumes all Well Fed to do extra damage. So as long as this attack hits, it's going to destroy just about anyone in the game. The real reason we're using him with Colleen though, is because they both share level 9s that have Exploits Bleeds, as well as Paragon Exploiter. That's essentially going to be the reason behind all the team-ups in this episode. Each teamed up character is going to share Exploits Bleeds and Paragon Exploiter. So all we need to do is land Colleen Wing's follow-up or level 1, that's going to put bleeds on the enemy. Then we need some pressure points debuffs, and we should be good to go on some impressive hits. We've already seen that Volstagg can bring the damage, and that was pretty much without that move being set up, at least debuff wise. But Colleen Wing can also deal it out with her level 9. Hopefully we'll see at least one big hit from that Hizatsu Waza. You gotta love that name. Now the enemy agent's going to be primed for a hit. He's definitely bleeding, and he'll take even more bleeds. So let's try and hit him with our Axarang. In this case, it doesn't look like it's going to do huge damage, but I think it's going to be enough. Well, a cower stops it, so let's go ahead and use the Light Fantastic, and we'll settle for Colleen's level 9. To be honest, I actually prefer using it anyways. Okay, and we get to interrupt Kurth. So that just shows more of Colleen's utility. And speaking of big hits, that level 9 shredded the agent. So there you have it. She's very resilient, interrupts, heals herself, places a lot of bleeds, and she has knockout potential. That's a recipe for a solid character. Unfortunately, Kurth's going to be somewhat annoying, I'm sure. But hopefully it won't take us that long to finish her. That's going to depend on these cower procs though. In my opinion, they're out of control. Then we're going to hit our own teammate to make matters even worse. But the Neuropurge is at least off of cooldown. Then we'll set her up further with the Improbability Field. If it comes down to it, an Atom Smasher should be able to finish the Breaker of Stone off. And hey, at least she has to recharge. So we'll use our level 1 to play some more bleeds. This causes us to hit ourselves, and we'll take a counter. So yeah, that Rune Explosion's going to kill Colleen. You would think a 3-on-1 would be an easy win, but not when Kurth's involved. Still though, we are going to go ahead and finish her off with that Atom Smasher. Or on second thought, we're going to get absorbed of all our stamina, and we'll have to wait for her to almost kill herself. Okay, so good news. Kurth's almost going to win this one single-handedly. Not overpowered at all. And then we're finally going to barely eke this one out with a Volstagg Axarang. So that one went from easy win to an almost loss. But I guess at least it got exciting at the end. I only have one more thing I want to say about Volstagg in that early hit before we move on to the next team. It is definitely an Emma Frost killer. In another battle, I one-hit a 28k Emma Frost with the very first attack from Volstag's Axorang. So it's just something you may want to think about. For this next team up, we're using X23, who of course causes lots of bleeds, and her level 6 Made for Walking actually has Paragon Exploiter, as well as exploits bleeds. So yeah, she perfectly continues the trend. You probably already know this about her, but it's definitely a one-shot move. However, I was debating whether to use her AoE first, or go for the damage. And we end up going with that level 6. The enemy agent is going to protect it, but hopefully we get a good amount of damage in. Yeah, I would say that qualifies. Because of the follow-up, we end up taking him out already. Okay, so maybe this team up wasn't going to be that big of a challenge after all. Their health was a bit low, but I assume they have high attack. Fortunately for us, we may not even have to see them attack. If they do attack us, it's going to be very limited. Especially with follow-ups like that. Alright, and Beta Ray is going to use his AoE, but then we'll use our level 6, and hopefully get a follow-up with our level 1. We're really trying to set the enemy team up for another devastating Made for Walking. And that's going to really help out. Plus we get a Rapier follow-up as well. So with the Horseman of War, we'll once again use her level 6. And it decimates Beta Ray. So with only Victor Mancha left, I'm not that worried because X23, aka the Horseman of War, does have Brutal Strike, so we can prevent Resurrection. If it comes down to it, we have an answer. So next, with my agent, we'll use the Dark Energy Blade, and Colleen's actually going to interrupt his counterattack. Plus she follows up her interrupt. Yeah, she's impressive like that. Following that amazing interrupt and follow, we'll do her level 9. But in this case, it does miss. So I think you can guess what we're going to do with X23. And hopefully there's no Resurrect this time. Here comes a third Made for Walking. Can we go 3 for 3 with knockouts? We're all about to find out. So there it is. Another big damage knockout. And just like that, the second match is down. So what other character has Exploits Bleeds and Paragon Exploiter? It may actually shock you. It's going to be Star-Lord. Who? Star-Lord, man. Legendary Outlaw? Anyways, he's got it, and he's got a lot more, of course. But that attack, if you're wondering, is lit up. It's also got Exploit Opportunity, as if it needed even more. And the team we're facing is actually pretty interesting. It's Daredevil, Man Without Fear, and another Colleen Wing. So that's going to be a lot of potential interrupts. I was going to build an interrupt team myself, but I don't know if I'd be brave enough to put them on defense. I guess we'll find out just how well they do. We'll begin by attacking Daredevil, and we do miss the follow-up. Next, the evil Colleen's going to use her level 9 right out the gate on our agent. That's actually going to hurt her more than it hurt us. Following this, we'll use the Blackest Void to remove their prevention. Then Colleen's going to use her level 6 on Daredevil. Hopefully we follow it up and play some bleeds. And it looks like we're going to, especially since he missed past the bar. Also, this time the Rapier does land. So Daredevil's definitely in some big trouble. And he actually ends up being stunned, so he's not even going to get to attack. Then we're going to use Neuropurge as a quick action, followed by the Mystic on the enemy agent. We're trying to hit him with obsolete tech and at least stop him from using the cube. Apparently the Lunacy still works, and after that he's also going to use the Signpost. I really hate both of those items. But as a result, at least Colleen's going to hit him with her level 1. Now on Star-Lord's turn, we're going to try some special things. We're going to use Momentary Advantage, then attempt to use a quick action Rocks Fall. Hopefully this could finish off Daredevil, but it misses him. So instead we'll use Lit Up on the enemy agent, which does great damage and knocks him out. And then we'll just finish off the Man Without Fear with a Quantum Leap. Okay, so I'm assuming this hits, And alright, now 2 of the opponents are down. We did get to see the power of Lit Up. And maybe we'll finish it with Colleen, but I'm not guaranteeing it. Oh, I actually forgot to mention that X23 team up. I know that was a fast match, but we actually got our Battle of the Week out of that team. So you're going to see a much longer battle in that episode. As for this one though, we're just going to go ahead and try to finish it as fast as we can. And so we'll first use a Dark Energy Blade, which does get a follow-up, and a Spray and Pray. Then instead of skipping our turn, we'll just use our level 1 with Star-Lord. And that should end the fight. So there it is, the Colleen Wing, All Hail the King. And we'll probably take a look at her more later. As for the Spec Op, we'll be back with another task list part. And we're actually just a little bit behind because we're going to get Red She-Hulk today. Besides that, we're going to do a lockbox opening video as well. So there's plenty more coming. Please stay tuned so you don't miss any videos. Hit that like button and subscribe. Plus comment on any teams you might want to see with Colleen, Red She-Hulk, or anyone else who might be your favorite. That's it for now though. Thank you for watching. And until next time, good luck and take care.